Please share the live. Please share the live. Please keep sharing the live. I want to say good afternoon to all. As you go live, I yeah, Musu, how are you? Musu Soma. We ask that you kindly share the live. Um, Very soon we'll start this urgent uh, live broadcast to give our take on the Liberian Guinean border situation, the saga at the border. So Blata Blata, what's up, brother?
Hello, ladies.
We won't stay long. Blata Blata, how are you? Okay, we won't stay very long. Just share the live. Keep sharing the live. Waymon Lee, my critic. What's up? We'll ask that you can't share the live. Mr. My critic. Yeah. Please share the live to every important platform. Very essential. Please. Please keep sharing the live. I want to say good afternoon to every one of you. Hi, Robin, what's up? Abraham, Benjamin, Sajuma, Jeffrey, Momo, Dodo, what's up? We ask that you keep sharing the live, it's very important. We will be very brief. We have to learn how to speak truth to power. We got to be real ourselves. Because, you know, war is not for a single person, it's for every Liberian. When war comes, everyone can become victimized. But at the same time, we have to speak truth to power. It is very, very much important than to pretend. We cannot keep pretending with the reality unfolding between Liberia and that of Guinea. No. And we cannot remain silent. So we ask that you kindly share the live uh, in the next 4 minutes. In the next 4 minutes, we'll begin the process. So we just want you to keep sharing, let the world know exactly what is unfolding in our country. I know, I know the entire state is glued to this live today, but we'll speak truth to power. Deconti Bronskin, how are you? I Zule Wesley, how are you? Liberian First Online TV, JNB is watching the live. Josephus Manning, I'm watching live from the city of where? Okay, New York City. William, what's up, bro? My man, bro, what's up? Siddiqui Sharif. Yeah, just keep sharing the live. Keep sharing the live. We're not pretending we're not mince our voice because it has to do with each and every one of us. It has to do with our safety also. And some of us have been posting, commenting the vigilant nature of Liberians. In Foya, who stood up, who maintained the dignity of hosting our flag. We salute them. We remain with our AFL, like Aref 40 said. I respect the armed forces of the Republic of Liberia. We respect the security apparatus of the Republic of Liberia. Okay. But at the same time, we have to speak truth to power. Because, like I've said, anything that happened to this country will affect every one of us. Some of us were here during the period of the war. Tommy, how are you? Or Faya Boykai, Emmanuel Moba, Abraham Godo, Zulu Wesley, Mushi Annie Avid, Brenda, how are you? Edwin Brown, what's up? Jared, quite a long time. I'm now trying to find you, man. Yeah. So the number keep increasing. We got like 2 more minutes to start. 2 more minutes to start. And we're not pretend. No, nobody will pretend here. We'll be very emphatic. And we do not support any incursion. Let me repeat, we do not support any incursion by any troop on the Republic of Liberia. But at the same time, Cyrus, what's up, my man? Cyrus McGill, my man, hit me up inbox. I will talk to you. Man, Cecilia's son, keep updating. Gabriel, what's up? Wow, the number is running up. So everybody getting glue now. So whether in position, whether opposition, ruling party, whether sedition, non-sedition, you see, everybody grew. So today is very important, and we cannot pretend. Okay, and let me be very clear that I personally, Acarous Moses Gray, will never support any incursion, not because we're in the opposition. No, we never support any incursion into our land. But at the same time, we gotta speak, and we gotta make sure that we hold our own government feet to the fire, and not holding our own government feet to the fire alone, but they must do the right thing. So let us dive quickly now into this. Let us dive quickly into this. So again, good afternoon, my fellow Liberians, international partners, the many viewers. I want to say thank you very much for being patient-minded and tuning in. Maybe we'll just stay here 30 minutes or 40 minutes. But first and foremost, the Guinean troop, yesterday, although there was a meeting, a tripartite meeting by the three head of states amongst Guinea, Sierra Leone, and Liberia. An official position statement was issued by the Liberian government that everything is under control and everything is calm. That's the pretext that the government of Liberia put out on it. Did the government go into the details of the discussion yesterday? No, the government did not. For what reason the government didn't go into the details of the discussion yesterday? It left with the government, maybe a border on national security. But we got to first establish the root cause of the problem, and we got to stop pretending. My friends in Unity Party will have to be bold, they will have to be blunt, and speak truth to power. They have to do that. They have to be bold, they have to be blunt. There's a history of a company called BK. We all know the history. Many persons are listening. And that company is involved into sand mining, or have been involved into sand mining on the Makuna River, the river between Liberia and Guinea. Who owns the company? It was this company only involved into sand mining. And what's the result of this sand mining for what? They said to lay out the city of Weah, probably to pave the road, okay, of Weah. And also the sand mining is involved into the construction, quote unquote, by Liberian sources, into the construction of the presidential palace in Weah, the $10 billion presidential palace. So yeah, there's a company that was doing sand mining. Who owned the trucks that were transporting the sand? Who allegedly owned this company? Top-notch government officials who are open supporters of President Boycott. There's an open secret. Top-notch supporters of President Boycott is said that the Internal Affairs Minister who lived with President Boycott, who grew up with him, who is alleged to have been one of those who established the Lofa Defense Force in Lofa County, Francis Nyimale, who is the Internal Affairs Minister, who threatened that he would kill Thomas Fala in 2023 during the election period, is involved with this particular company. Who truck is transporting the quote-unquote sand to the construction site? It's also said that Deputy Speaker Thomas Fala is the one who owns those trucks. So there is a concept and conversation of government officials being involved with this BK company, the company that was doing the sand mining. The Liberian local authorities and the Guinean local authorities agreed that the company can do a sand mining for 1 month. That means they can take some sand from the Mankono River to do the construction work. But later on, the Guinean authority felt where they got their sources from, where they got their security details from, that the machine that were doing the sand mining was involved into exploitation of other minerals, like gold, like diamond, etc. It didn't go down well with the Guinean government. The Guinean government seized the equipment on the water. With this accusation that this company was not only involved into sand mining, but was involved into the exploitation of resources, because Guinea is claiming that the river belonged to them. That's what Guinea is claiming. So Liberia had asked Guinea through the local authorities at the borderland, the local authority, to do some sand mining. But the Guinean authority had argued that it's not only sand mining, the guys are digging diamond, they are taking gold, and they are taking other resources. Accusing the company. And with this company, government officials are involved. I don't support President Weah. With this accusation, diplomatically, a country had accused Liberia of exploiting their resources, technically, diplomatically. What did the government of the Republic of Liberia do? Instead of the government of the Republic of Liberia resolving the crisis by state-to-state interaction at the highest level, Niemale and other people went to negotiate for them to give them the machine back. They crossed the border, they went and negotiated and said, give all our machine back. The Guinean authorities said, we cannot give the machines back. We cannot. We have surrounded the machine, in fact, to what is equivalent in Guinea, in Liberia, oil, lands, mines, and energy. Okay? Guinea authorities submitted the machine to their authority to look into the case, to establish that these guys were involved, that this company was involved into digging, not just sand. And in fact, the company has stayed more than 30 days on the river. They went beyond the days. So the Guinean authorities says, now diplomatically, a student of international relations, that is a signal by itself. Historically, there's a signal. What do I mean historically? Guinea is a country that jealously protects her resources. In West Africa, if Guinea is not the only virgin country when it comes to exploitation of their resources, maybe other countries are, 1 or 2 countries. But Guinea's secretary reserved the resources of Guinea and did not allow the colonial masters to exploit the resources of Guinea. So there's a historical trend about Guinea jealously protecting her resources. That's why Secretary said, I prefer to die poor in poverty than to die enslaved in riches. Let me repeat. Secretary, former president of Guinea, he said, I prefer to die poor in poverty than to die enslaved in riches. He said, let me die poor, my resources being reserved and kept, than for me to die as a slave, giving my resources to the West or to the colonial master. I prefer to keep it for a generation unborn. So that statement, historically and diplomatically, it means Guinea can do anything for the protection of her resources. Guinea, the only country in West Africa that fought the colonial master and drove the French up. Some of you have read the history of also Samuru Touré, how he fought the French. So, and Guinea did that to protect not just the sovereignty, but to protect their resources also. So there's a history, there's a historical pattern of Guinea protecting her resources, protecting her sovereignty and her territorial integrity, even against the French colonial masters. So as student of international studies and diplomacy, negotiation, it says a lot to me. Liberia should have immediately gotten involved with the highest level of the Guinean authority, set up an independent committee between Guinea and Liberia to investigate the allegation from Guinea against Liberia using a sand mining machine, quote unquote, to extract other resources from the Macondo River that belongs to Guinea according to Guinea's own conversation. It belongs to Guinea. Okay, these are things that we must be able to understand. What did the government, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, through the presidency, what did they do? Understand the historicity of Guinea jealousy. Jealously protecting their resources. Owning that for Guinea to own that river as their personal property. They say this is our property. And that has been recognized that they said that Guinea property was the river. Liberia went in on a boycott and recognized that by asking Guinea to allow them to take sand from the river. Top level government officials have been accused. The president should have announced an independent inquiry committee made of credible and independent people to investigate not just the deputy speaker, to also investigate the Minister of Internal Affairs and to investigate the company as to whether they were taking other resources. Like Go and Damo, there was a need for a Liberian government internal investigation and also notifying Guinea that the both countries could also set up another committee to investigate the subject matter. Because these are things, minerals between borderlines of countries, for example, the quest for border or territorial encroachment and all of those things, okay, or ownership of territories, are all led to serial crisis and serial war all around. Because one country will say, okay, the place here, the island here between two of us, it belongs to me. The other country will say it belongs to me, and there are resources there. So, Guinea sent the first warning. They illegally crossed the border about a week now. How did Liberia handle the situation? 0 young patriots of Liberia rose up to the occasion and went to the border and challenged the authorities of the Guineans. And the Guineans saw your cross. They went back. That was not a satisfaction. That was not a satisfactory retreat by the Guineans. The president of Guinea ordered the military, the commander of the military, gave him the Guinean flag. I think not 3 days ago, if I'm not mistaken, and told him, go and put our flag up. The Guinean army commander was very clear on record on one of the videos that they would not give an inch of their territory up. That was a signal for a complete act of aggression, crossing into what is believed to belong to Liberia with arm. About a week now, a few days ago, that in itself is a signal of an act of war. The Liberian government should have taken this seriously. Secondly, for the Guinean president to order his military to move into the border. I think there are 16 or 17 crossing points. And Guinea is now in control of almost all the 17 crossing points. Though it's unconfirmed, but that's why I've been hearing from some reporters that Guinea is in control of the 17 crossing points. Unconfirmed, but that's why I'm hearing. Now, in my mind, the Liberian government failed to act immediately. Internal investigation, international investigation, the government failed on that. Secondly, one of the cardinal reasons for which Liberia lost some of her territory is the lack of presence. Historically, you guys who read history, you know. Encroachment on Liberian land, taken by the French, taken by the British, and annexed to Sierra Leone, annexed to Guinea, annexed to Africa. One of the factors of the inability of the Liberian government to make a presence felt. At the Soliman, what's our crossing point in Lofa? The government of Liberia does not have army there. Not even the immigration there, because they retreated up. Nobody was there. So the Guinean easily came in a few days ago and they took over. Liberia showed no scale of authority no skill or strength. Our president gets on the flight along with his Iranian counterpart. They fly in to Guinea. The young soldier of Guinea, you could see President Weah could not come down the step. He had to hold President Weah's hand to help him. That was demeaning in his mind, a soldier man. He looked at the president, he looks at himself and said, well, the man cannot even protect himself that the country will protect. Soldier man, remember, a soldier who overthrew a government and became a civilian leader in Guinea. A soldier boy and became a civilian leader in Guinea. One of the language in that boy had a war. You got to show strength for love for Guinea, the excitement. Young people love these excitements. He held the two leaders and brought them, misled them. The next morning, Guinea is into Liberia. Today, Guinea is into Liberia. There's an adage, in terms of peace, prepare for war. In terms of war, prepare for peace. Let me repeat. In terms of peace, prepare for war. In terms of war, prepare for peace. But guess what? Y'all get your police people here wear arms. The only thing they know how to do is to fire tech and fire surveillance. They carry them to fire, they stop halfway. The only thing they know how to do when they're demolishing people, who the police people go there, they shoot their guy, we arm the be surveillance. To demolish one court gave order. Or they beat opposition, other people that what they know best. But to go to the borders, they should have been there. Can you show your cross the money with all any resistance? We're not talking about you should shoot back. No. With all presence. Let me take the word resistance back. With all presence. They crossed into Liberia. With all presence. I saw one video not too long. Our immigration, other people talking to the people say no, they will wait for what a commander then will say the in Liberia side. They're telling us say they will wait. They will wait for what the commanders will say. On Liberia land, my mother land, sweet land of liberty, where our neighbor stream have been buried. Our friends from Unity Party, some of them, not all, because some of them are very reasonable. Let me be frank with you. Oh, the president can negotiate. Oh, you know this. Oh, you know we did our own thing, the way we did it. Nah, no. There was a delay in this process and we have to establish it. Say what you want to say. For somebody digging diamond to enrich their and their children, people want our boys to go and die. You see how war looking? Innocent people always die. The older they then are putting their low on their head in Weah and surrounding villages that are moving. Some of them will leave their horses, they will be looted. They were lost because of few people's stupidity in Liberia. Say what you want to say, insult me. Say anything you want to say. You pour or send money equipment. What were the necessity of the project in Weah as equivalent to the national security of the country? What a justification. You pour or send money equipment, the people seize the equipment, say digging diamond and gold. To enrich Nimale, your internal affairs minister, and few people in government, and Guinea seize the equipment. But you want our boys to go and die. Some of our relatives in the military, in the police, we have family members. The government must act and act on its own. The government must investigate Nimale and other people. And the company, the bigger company, they need to investigate them. They need to make that message emphatically clear to the Guinean authority and to Liberians. You don't love Liberia more than us because some of you people ran away from this country. When they were fighting war, we were here. Some of you people ran away. Okay? It's about every Liberian. This is about every Liberian. It's not about a particular person. It's about every Liberian. So we got the right to talk into it. We got the right to speak up. We got it right. We have the right. We have that right to speak out. We have that right to express our views because we're not going nowhere. We believe in the armed forces of the Republic of Liberia and the security apparatus. We believe they can protect the territorial confines of our country. We salute them any day because we have some of the best soldiers. However, for greed of few government officials, is that why you want our boys to go and die for? Is that why you want our soldiers to go and die? Do you know we speak to people in the AFL? Some of the guys are telling us because of few stupid people, they're not going to die. The chief of staff, that Weah man from Weah, let him be on the front line. That man who organized local defense force. That man go there. Let him be on the front line. Army. Let him go confront the Guineans. I listened to the Minister of Information. Talking about, you know, people got to be more patriotic. When you got patriotic, when election time, when Weah said he win election, the country will end. When you say the worst thing and damage the image of this country. When you became patriotic, Mr. Minister of Information, Unity Party government. I know some of you people are very sound. Let me be frank with you. We got friends in the system. When you became patriotic under Weah administration, when you became patriotic, when you knew that you were damaging the image of the country and thinking that you're damaging the image of George Weah, or damaging Jefferson Tamakoji image, or Acarous Gray image, or Nathaniel Magio, you call for sanction on the country. Yes, because you wanted to come to power. We will never call for sanction on our country. No. We will never encourage an incursion by Guinean military on our soil. It's an insult to the integrity of our country to encourage a Guinean incursion or any other country incursion onto our soil. It's a defiant to people like us who call ourselves born here, die here. No Liberian, no well-meaning Liberian will encourage that. But our government has to act on its own citizens to not endanger the national security of this country. All the money you're pouring in intelligence, since the government came to power, all the money you pour in intelligence and security, more than $10 million under the Ministry of Information that intelligent, under the FIA that intelligent, under the office of the president that intelligent, under the office of the EPS, you get intelligence. The NSA, you get intelligence. The police, you get intelligence money. The immigration, you got intelligence money. Fire service, you got intelligence money. Everywhere in the government, Ministry of State, you get intelligence money on a Kura Fofana. You all take the money and you cannot empower the AFL. You cannot empower the innocent police boys who can be firing tear gas. Some of them are so innocent. You want to endanger the life of our people because the allegation of your son Nimale digging diamond, using a machine to dig diamond and gold on the Makono River to enrich himself and Joseph Boakai, to build a $10 million project that Boakai lied to the country that Sierra Leone, Liberia, and Guinea, they are contributing towards that project, the presidential project, to build road in Weah. These are selfish agenda by few officials. They want to endanger the life of young people along the border lines. Innocent young boys standing up with single barrels, some of our hunters, some of our best hunters. Because Guinea crossed over, they want to defend their motherland. They are trying to defend their motherland. Every man, well, Liberian will want to stand up like that. But look at the government. I go say that one small labor from Guinea, they ball with your hand, they two of you brought boy down there, one labor. Look at Guinean military helicopter flying over our borderland. Guinean military helicopter. Guinean soldiers move into our borderland. And somebody say, oh, our joint security operation, they won't lie. The people have moved. All was security and nobody near there. Who want to die because Nimale want to enrich himself and Joseph Boyka? Who want to die because Thomas Fala get trucks that transporting sand? A company. There's another company they call BK. Who owns the company? Who owns company? And people are not read to themselves. When you talk at the CDC and Unity Party business, this is not CDC and Unity Party because the bullets, when they are flying, they will not select between CDC and Unity Party or opposition and ruling party. They will not. Some of you people, you take Father scratch card, you sell your entire future for Father scratch card. $10 scratch card, they cannot send you to school, they cannot pay your school fees. But when we're talking, when credible people are talking and giving analysis and recommendation for the government to act and they act effectively, you come, you insulting, you don't even know your back from your front. Poor children. It's pure, this is what we call pure child abuse. Where you give innocent children scratch card or innocent older people, this is abuse. And they just come and insult. The same thing. The information minister talking about patriotism, you have Daniel Sando insulting all the political leaders in the country. That patriotism, that love for country, that greed because of greed. Our land, Guinea taking our land today because of greed. The people are greedy. They want to, the people that in power, many of them are very greedy. That boy can take his children. Somebody posted something funny. But that boy can take Jojo and Tantan and Amne and send them to the border. They entrust the children in military uniform to go protect the borders of Liberia. Yes. The Acarous Moses Gray saying it. Let him go and take his children and send them to the border to protect. That Nimale take his children and his grandchildren and send them to the border to protect Liberia. You want to plunge this country into chaos because of greed? Is that what you want, Mr. President? You sit and look at things, you put yourself on flight and take Liberian resources and go to Guinea, and nothing good came out of it? That the Guineans here, they're already on our land. When we say that people talking about, oh, you know, you don't let the country, they don't let the country, the people on us already. You let Liberia more than us. When there was 17,000 votes different we gave the country, do you love Liberia more than us? It's 17,000 votes different that separated, oh, we took the country and gave it to you. If Boyka was in power, he would never allow that to happen. He would never allow that to happen. He would have plunged this country into chaos. He would have done that. The leadership is behaving reckless. They say no diplomatic skills. They are better negotiators. They stay 40 years in power. They got the best foreign minister. So Joseph Boyka knew he changed the mandate of the LRRC. He knew there have been refugees. He knew people who have been internally displaced. And he expanded through an executive order the authority of the LRRC when he carried Bangali Code. That's some of the authority he gave to Bangali Code. So he knew that the NSA briefed the president. The NSA only report to the president of the Republic of Liberia. They deal with external threat. Did they brief the president that Guinea was preparing to take over the land? What was the precautions that we took? What were the preemptive strikes that we took? What were the preventive measures that we took? Because the NSA should have informed the president prior to this incursion by Guinea. Liberia National Security should have had the information and detail from Guinea that there was a plan to take over our territory. They should have had the details. That's one of the functions of the NSA and other intelligence apparatus of the country. They should have called the Liberian government. Or did they call the Liberian government and Weah said, let me expand the authority of the Refugee and Repatriation Committee and bring Bangaliko and give them more authority? He predicted that there would have been internally displaced Liberians as a result of border crisis. Did he predict that before issuing the executive order? Did he predict that? Our country is treading on a dangerous path in terms of leadership. President Weah has refused to demonstrate leadership. There are sacred cows in the executive branch of government, untouchables. Because either they are doing business for President Weah, or they know so much about him and they are law unto their own. Imagine the FOIA project. The president said he was not aware of the FOIA project. If he were aware of the FOIA project, the presidential project, he was going to stop it. But they did not tell him. The president of the Republic of Liberia, the building a place for you, the president said he was not aware of the project. So everybody just doing their own thing in this government. The legislature needs to intervene, have an oversight responsibility on national security and national defense of the country. The legislature has that responsibility. There's a committee on internal affairs. They need to invite the internal affairs minister. They need to investigate the company that were doing the same money. The legislature. Rachel Kuhn needs to hold a phone and speak to her counterpart in Guinea. Call the Speaker of Guinea and speak to him. Because the two countries cannot deploy military with all the speaker being with all the presidents not informing the speaker. For the president in Liberia to deploy the military, the president must have called the speaker to speak to him. That's what the law says. Similarly in Guinea. My friends, my colleague in Guinea, okay, that in the parliament, the president spoke to the parliament. And if care is not taken, let me tell you, I want you to listen again. The Guinean military may go beyond just that border point. They may go as far as FOIA to set up a buffer zone. Let me repeat. Yesterday, I told people, I said, their meeting that ended in Guinea. Guinea will be in Liberia tomorrow morning. For all indication of what I've heard, because we got friends. We got parliamentarian friends. We got friends in different areas. For the president of Guinea to take the Guinean flag, like Joseph Weah taking Liberia flag, and giving it to the chief of staff, or the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Liberia, and say, go to the border and make your presence felt. That what I bought there in Guinea, the Guinean president, he took the Guinean flag and gave it to the commander and said, go and take our properties. That's what he did. There's a public video towards that. The president handing the flag. The president of Guinea and the commander of Guinea is saying that not a piece of our land will be relinquished. Not a piece of our land will be relinquished. We need to be clear. Nobody going to die because somebody won't go and demo. Why the boys just desperate? As if to say they want everything. That 6 years, they just want to get rich. They just want to take everything. And they give peanuts to our brothers. They give peanuts to our brothers. They give peanuts to some of our friends who are members of the masses community. And they insult. And they say what they want to say. They don't even know what is happening. Look at the old ladies. Look at our parents who are putting low on their hair. That will provoke me to come on air today. That will provoke me to have this life. To see our older ladies, our mothers, our grandparents, putting low on their hair, the 1990 war. Like 1990 war. And walking from the border, living in their villages for fear of incursion. You know that fear. You know, people are traumatized as a result of the war to just see military people with guns coming. Our older people who saw war. Some of the young children that didn't see war. Some of them don't understand the implication of war. Okay, they're telling you don't talk because you're from CDC. But our United Party got a right to talk. The country does not belong to a group of people. It belongs to everyone. That's why we have never run away from this country. None of us. You sat down here, Mr. President. You took somebody who is said to be a Liberian citizen. You took him. And you get into Guinea after they brought a military headquarters, military plane on the RIA. You took the man, get the man to Guinea, then they gave you 6 or 10 pickups. Then you announce that Guinea you pick up in exchange of human being. You took Cabina, Jana, Serena, Sifos, then they were on the case. They said, no, the man is not a Guinean national, a Liberian. Assuming even for a Guinean national, and you were accused of some coup issue, you turn him over? Whether it's a life or death, it's a violation of international protocols. Then Guinea gave you another access of 10 pickups. Then you announce that they gave you pickups. That's the first place you show your birthright. You see that boy in Guinea, Mr. President, your security people, they should be informing you. You see that boy in Guinea? And you know, all that your people you were training that time in Lofa, you say that rescue soldiers. You have born naked in. You have Gregory Como. You have A.B. Kroman. All the ex-rebels they were training. All of them. The Guinean government is concerned what those people in Liberia. The Guinean government is concerned about them. And you know, many Liberians just sit here, they don't know these things. And we are privileged to listen to these things. Because we bend at authority, at the helm of power in this country. Is the Guinean government concerned that there are Guinean dissidents in Liberia? Do they believe so? Was that part of the negotiation on the table? Was that part of the conversation on the table? These are top provocative questions and concerns. Whether that was part of the conversation, because Guinea already accused Liberia of dissidents being in Liberia, you're 10-1 over. So is Guinea still concerned that there are more dissidents in Liberia than our president or our defense authority had a conversation with the Guinean defense authority? Whether that's true or whether that's lie, these are concerns because Guinea raised that issue. And Guinea said that people wanted to overthrow their government and they fled to Liberia and they are in Liberia. Yemale were training people in Lofa County during the campaign. Gregor Como was rescue head of security. Butt naked, rescue head of security. My friend Abraham Kroman, rescue head of security. All the ex-combatants then they put together. Guinea was concerned also. Guinea was concerned. Did the guy that turned over to Guinea, was he involved into recruitment in Liberia yet? Guinea was concerned. These are national security concerns that we are raising. These are public knowledge in pieces of information. You want to endanger? You want to endanger our future? And the guy said in Guinea there, thinking that we cannot defend ourselves, and Guinean army people recklessly cross our borders to encroach on our land and seize our land that our forefathers gave to us, that they labor for, that they die for, and they take our land. No Liberian should be excited at Guinea taking our land. No Liberian should be excited about that. No Liberian. But we got to beat on our own government. They have to do something. The scales of negotiation from 0 to 10, they are at 3. They fail. 0 to 10, the government is at 3. Because Joseph Weah go on plane, so I put them at 3 in one Guinea. The chief of staff, all people cross the border, they went Guinea to go talk to the Guinean army at the border. Who did they talk to? The chief of staff. The chief of staff, what country? Did he meet Guinea chief of staff in Guinea? Or that the commander at the border they went to go talk to? That is degrading yourself first at the borderline. That is degrading yourself first at the borderline. Have you been able to complain officially to the ECOWAS? Liberia is a member of the Security Council, the United Nations Security Council. How will Liberia say that we can make an appeal? If Guinea want to force it, the Liberian government should be making an appeal now. We are member of the United Nations Security Council, a non-permanent member of the 10 voices. 15 members, but 10 non-permanent members. Liberia is a non-permanent member. How are we leveraging? How are we leveraging that authority on the United Nations Security Council? How the foreign minister leveraging that authority? How President Weah leveraging that authority? On the African Union Security Council, Liberia could not get on the African Union Security Council because we couldn't accrue the votes. So we get in Guinea-Bissau. Then we pretend that we say, no, we ain't greedy, we want to take all that law. We wanted it. All the countries in Africa that on the United Nations Security Council are on the African Union Security Council. Only Liberia, of all the countries, the 3 countries that are on the United Nations Security Council for Africa, only Liberia is not on the African Union Security Council. Because Liberia couldn't amass the rapprochement. Liberia couldn't amass that rapprochement, that interaction. The foreign ministry issued one statement. So we are not being greedy, so I think we'll give it to Guinea-Bissau. Okay. So we'll give it to Guinea-Bissau. Can you imagine? Liberia should have been on the African Union Security Council. You on the UN Security Council. You say, oh no, no, because Liberia could not get a vote. So they say, okay, so we can't get a vote. That guy John, that guy say, okay, that Guinea-Bissau take it. You couldn't get a vote, stop pretending. Because you don't have a good relationship with your African brothers. You don't have a good relationship. Who Liberia friend? France. A permanent member of the United Nations Security Council, the Big Five. Great Britain there. The US, our biggest partner there. Russia is there. And we are non-permanent member, the 10, among the 10 non-permanent member. Then we add to the 5 permanent member, 15. And we chair, Liberia will chair the Security Council. President Weah will chair the Security Council. What leverage? What's the leverage? What are we leveraging from there? Since the system, we are not been member of the Security Council. What are we leveraging from there? What big brother role are we playing in this process? For our president to get on one plane and go to Guinea, then all people in club, one information minister come up and really long theory. I'm talking about jump border patrol, security exchange. The Guinea boy just sat and crossed the security in the morning. That exchange that the exchange you're talking about. Is that the exchange? We got to be real with ourselves. Guinea has never joked about the issue of resources acquisition. Acquiring the resources, they've never joked about that. Secretary, they say, I prefer to die poor in poverty than to die enslaved in riches. Then for me to be a slave, with all this my wealth, to be a slave under the colonial master to exploit our resources. They kept their resources. You ask the people for 30 days to do same money. 30 days expire, the people seize your equipment and say you're digging gold and diamond. They company here will not satisfy with the company. Liberian government should approve the company. They should investigate the company. They should investigate the ownership of the company. The barrage of accusations that are floating that the deputy speaker Chuck is the one that can transport the same. That they say they want lay off Weah. The barrage of accusations that Joseph Boyka's son, Francis Nyimale, the internal affairs minister, owns the company and got a share and they are digging diamond. Is there not a need for investigation? Is there not a need for investigation? Is that not a need? Is that not a need? Okay? Is that not a need? Is that not a need? Let me say to you, all Liberians, no matter where you are, it's time for us to hold together as Liberians. All Liberians. It's also time for us to hold our government feet to the fire. It's also time for us to condemn the authority of Guinea for crossing over to our country. We must take the bull by the horn and don't run away from that. We must question the leadership of Liberia, also the manner and form in which they handle the situation. We must do that. We don't want our boys dying. We don't want our soldiers dying. No. We don't want it. If that Joseph Boyka relative man is saying, the government needs to tell us. They are accountable to us. If they are mining gold and diamond in the river, in the Macono River, illegally, they need to tell us. The government needs to investigate it. By now, Francis Nyimale should be under investigation. And even the deputy speaker should be under investigation. By now. And President Boyka just sitting down and looking. When you're talking to our friends in Unity Party, say, oh, you hate the government. No, we don't hate the government. We love Liberia. We have stood for Liberia. We live in Liberia. We're not run away from Liberia. Like many will say, this is the only country that we cannot be deported from. We cannot be expelled from. This is the only country that we cannot be expelled from. And will not escape. And will never run away. We'll never escape this country. We'll never run away. Charles and I were fighting warrior. Some of us stay around. Yeah, but stay in and out. This country belongs to every Liberian. It's not for Unity Party. It's not for CDC. It's not for Joseph Boyka and his children. No. But when few group of people want to benefit from the resources of the country, and there's allegation hanging over their heads that will plunge this country into chaos, we must rise up to the occasion and speak truth to power. We must fearlessly and objectively stand up, whether you're from the Unity Party, whether you're from the CDC, Whether you're from the opposition, our friends in the Unity Party have to stand up and speak truth to power. Investigate the company. But now the NSA should have arrested the owners of the company or invited them because they have an external security implication. The NSA, we got one of our best soldier boys, who is the head of the NSA, Prince Johnson. Whether we like it or not, he's one of the best trained soldier boys of this country that the Liberian government invested in. He's one of the best. He's the head of the NSA. The NSA needs to, the external and internal threat. They need to know that. They needed to have invited the company. Nimale should be invited by them. The deputy speaker should be invited by the NSA to take statement from them. The Ministry of Justice should be involved into this. Yes, the police. But the only thing Gregory Common know that to tear gas, to send police to take people land when the court rule or to run beyond opposition. That the only thing Gregory Common know. Or when it comes to the transportation company to charge people for license plate and things because he got interest in it. That's the only thing he knows. While our police officers are in the sun and under the rain and their bosses are getting rich and they are suffering. They are tear gassing their own brothers on the pavement. You want to take our brothers and our relatives from the AFL to send them on the front line because of Nimale, the internal affairs minister, because the deputy speaker, because of Weah, $10 million project in Foya, because somebody said they want pavement in Foya. Really? That's the chief of staff. He's a kissy ball. Let him go on the front line. He should be the first person to be on the front line, manning the bowlers. And Nimale had local defense force, and trained some people and born naked then. They were mobilizing armed people around here. So they call them rescue soldiers. Send rescue soldiers. They don't go man the borders. They want them to take $10 scratch car and causing people mind and power on Facebook. They don't go there. They will know what war is. You do not joke. You know what I mean for that boy in Guinea to send people after seeing our president? In less than 14 hours, after seeing our president, then you deploy military people across into Liberia. And you deploy military people. That boy got dressed as children in military uniform. Plus himself. And go and defend the border. Let him go defend Foya. Look how patriotic our young men and women in Foya stood up that day. Look how they stood up. Look how they stood up. Look how the hunters said they were ready to go on the front line and die for the country. But guess what? Everybody been thinking say, oh, Guinea. But look at Joseph Boyka then. That go and damn. Then they say, same money. The people seize your equipment. Instead of going settle thing, you go there, you say, you please get our equipment back. What we can here for? You go talk about equipment, then talk about the safety and security of the country. Nimale then went to go beg for equipment to Guinea. The same money equipment. Then to talk for the safety and national security of the country. A porous borderland of nothing less than 16 to 17 crossing points. People reporting, it's not me. That is a Guinea army all over there. People reporting, it's not me, it's not confirmed. Because I will not stay on this place here, okay, and give fabrication. No, I will not do that. I will not do that because I know what is war. I was here during war. I walked from your Grand Cape County, Sierra Leone. I know what is war. I went Ivory Coast. I went Ghana. I will stay in and out of Liberia. Stay 1 month in Ghana, 1 month in Ivory Coast, in Bahia. To be here. In Sierra Leone, 1 month. I came back to Liberia. So we know what is war. We don't want war. We don't want war. We don't want war. We want peace. We want security. We don't want Joseph Boyka lying to us. If you give our land out to the Guinean boy and say, take it, I will enjoy the security, tell the Liberian people that you agree with Guinea to take the place because you want fight. You want war. Tell us. But all the security left the place. Why they left the place? Why? Tell us that you gave the place to Guinea, you want no confusion. If Guinea want for you will give for you to Guinea, you want confusion. Then tell President Boyka. So we'll understand that that the means to which, okay, you want to conclude a situation. You don't want crisis. That's why you want. Don't say that in the country here, we're talking serious thing, people insulting. Serious thing we're talking about the future. Oh, some are already in our future. Some of us, some of you people, you come here, you insult, you don't even get food to eat today. Even bread, you don't get it to eat. But you call yourself rescue puppets. You come to insult. You say that Jeremiah PNN put money on our intelligence at the Ministry of Information. They give you $10 for scratch card on one end. They give you $20 and they eat the rest of the money. Then you come on Facebook, you insult other people. And then you say other people can insult. You are rude. Many of you are very rude. You provoke situation. You insult leaders in the opposition. You say the worst thing about them. You got a thin skin. As soon as they criticize your government, you begin to insult people for criticizing your government. You got a thin skin. If you have gun, you are going to shoot some of us. You got a thin skin. You come on our post, you say the worst thing. We don't respond to you. We don't insult you. We'll let you to insult us. You got a thin skin. If you level some of our friends in Unity Party or some of the puppets in Unity Party, they will kill us. They are a very intolerant group of people. Very intolerant group of people. Okay? Very intolerant. That the nonsense you want to put this country in. That the rubbish you want to put this country in. Okay? That's the pure rubbish. You want to ruin this country into chaos. Okay? And this is dangerous. And we'll talk about it. That Joseph Boyka sent Jojo Boyka and Tantan Boyka then. And his children ran out and they sent them on the front line, get them gone. You take our resources. The people say you money resources instead of investigating it diplomatically, setting up a committee between the two countries to investigate the matter, and also internally investigating the allegation of your internal affairs minister being involved with that company and digging gold and diamond. You refuse. When we talk, you say we're opposition. No, we are Liberians. We're born here, we die here. We'll protect this land of liberty. We'll speak truth to power. We'll never surrender. We'll never give in. We'll never run away from this country. When Liberia move forward, it means other will move forward, and the generation unborn will move forward. Will move forward. We're not mind because many of you are not patriotic. What happened here during the campaign? Some of the things you said about George Weah grading and the government, the lie you put together. They all say everything you were just lying on Weah, lying on the country, calling for sanction on your country, on your people. Your country, saying the West thing, damaging the international image of the country, all on social network. I listened to that information minister, that Bob, Ali there, but that Bob, okay, that Bob, calling say, can we call Ali, the Bada Bob, the information minister. And I'm more Ali are talking about the information minister, Bada Bob. That boy on radio station saying the worst thing about citizen-led administration. damaging the international image of this country. Today I saw him sitting like one sick guinea fowl. There one sick chicken in the corner. That sick chicken. Telling you, boy, y'all gotta be patriotic. You know the journalists then gotta be responsible, and you know our country and national leaders. That today you know we national leaders. That today you know the importance of political leaders. When Daniel Sano was insulting them and saying the worst thing about them, that today you know. You don't know that you're supposed to unite this country and keep this country together. You don't know that we are all Liberians. You don't know that, Mr. Information Minister. But you get on air and insult everybody and say the worst thing about political leaders and other people. You don't know. Rather that today you know that we are national leaders. We got to hold together as a country. You got to tell us. We love this country more than you people because you people want to plunge the country into war. If we're not going to get election, you're going to be fighting all around here because you had the desperate rebels then, training people. Men are butt naked, then were training people all in your country here. Desperate rebels. You're the all kind of thing to kind of state power. The worst thing you people did, that was following you today, that was harming you today. Then you begging like one chick. I beg you, our country, you know all of that. You supposed to tell about patriotism. That Unity Party governments will tell about patriotism and love for country. That they don't want to tell about dangerous things in the media. Okay? They still be talking about Radio Kigali then, the way they behave like Radio Kigali in this country. Okay? They turn every facts to wrong. And even up to today's day, they still lying. But again, I want to say thank you very much to all of you who took off your business schedule. Again, I appreciate everybody. I know some people will disagree, some will agree. For me, it doesn't matter. We are all Liberians. My name will always be Acarous Gray. Nothing will change about that. We are all Liberians. And we are all concerned about Guinean encroachment. And we do not support any encroachment onto our soil. At the same time, we got to warn our government. Our government got to be sincere. Our government got to tell the Liberian people the truth. They got to stop misleading the public. Our government got to step up her diplomatic engagement. She has the leverage at the United Nations Security Council. She has to use that leverage immediately. At the UN Security Council, the highest decision-making body at the United Nations, Liberia is there. Call your counterparts. Tell them Guinea has illegally entered our soil. You advise them to go back. Get one call from members of the United Nations Security Council. Just one call. Liberia, use your leverage. Guinea will go back. Joseph Boga, we can't teach you that now, your foreign minister. Okay? You got to know this. You say, oh, in opposition, we don't know nothing with dog. But guess what? Many of the people that call us dog who start in the same that we do them. They're not our peer. They're not our peer. Okay? They're not our peer. Call your counterparts. What is suggestion I'm suggesting to you? At the United Nations Security Council, call your counterparts in West Africa. At the AU level, at the UN Security Council, that they call the Guinean border with George Chup from Liberia, so we don't want to fight. We don't want to fight. We don't want fighting yet. That's be all I bring English. We don't want to fight. Yeah. The trouble you bring in Guinea carry back, we don't want to fight. But Liberia must use her leverage and start speaking the BB book or fine English. There is not time for fine English. There is time for practical actions. Get on the phone. Call your international partner. You are a member of the UN Security Council. Call your partners. Send the Guinean leader cannot listen. Sierra Leone needs to get on the phone also. Call your partners at the UN Security Council. Call ECOWAS. Don't ask him to withdraw his troop. Also be sincere to yourself. Investigate the allegation that not same money that the company from Liberia were doing, that owned by Nimale, according to the allegation of being owned by Nimale, that they were digging gold and diamond, the Guinean people go and diamond. in a river. Investigate it. The country cannot be plunged into chaos because of few greedy individuals in government. We cannot do that. We love Liberia. We not love Liberia more than us. One man stand and say, love Liberia, think Liberia, dream Liberia, all kind of things. No, we love Liberia. That's what we gave you power. We didn't deprive you power. We gave you power to govern the country properly. That's what we did. You call yourself rescuer. You must not be rescuing your pockets. Rescue the country. You are under obligation to protect the national security of this country, the territorial confines of our country. Don't endanger our army boys because of selfish greed. We got brothers and friends in the military. We speak to them every day. Okay? Those are family members who got in the military. Are they prepared to go to war? All the money you took, you put in intelligence. At the very land ministries and agencies of government, everything under intelligence, more than 10 million out of different things. Intelligence under different things. Take all that money and give it to the military. It's about time that you must take care of them. Take it. Saint John, we have brought all the equipment for the military in the country. Joseph Baga, 3 years, you not do nothing for the military. Zero. So we have Bay Hospital for those people. Oh, we're renovating the military barrack. Zero you do. It's clear we are even build a place for the military women to go to school and learn something. Zero you do for the military besides putting your family men all as chief of staff. Nothing you do for the army yet. But you want them to go and die because your son, you call in your nephew, Nimale, you can go and down in the people there. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Gentlemen, no insult. Your leader, but they put insult Gray. The Acarous, they insulting. Your leader, they insult Gray. Gray, you know, I'm cooking this thing. I grew up in the trenches of history, revolutionary history. So I used to this kind of thing. We used to battles. We grew up in battles. We grew up on the front line. Okay. We grew up on the front line. Yeah. We grew up on the front line. You see, one of my friends, he ran in District 8, but I will not leave with all saying what he wrote. He said the ECOWAS Protocol Article 3, having panel. The ECOWAS Protocol Article 3 of Conflict Resolution and Border Conflict spoke about colonial border protection. Guinea is acting on instruction. You hear what he's saying? The same thing we're telling you about Guinea just protecting the issue of their sovereignty, their borders, their resources from the onset. I told you, Guinea does not joke, and having panel is saying something very critical. Colonial border protection. So they're acting on instruction. All I think Joseph Boya want to go do with that labor over here, so he can't fall down, holding our president hand that one labor. Small boy like you that you supposed to hold Joseph Boya hand like that. That thing hurt me too much. Small boy like you. We fought for all of your independence in Africa here. You holding our president hand, I hate to say that you the big ball. You hold our president hand, and then you hold and Sarah Leone president hand. You talk over there one small little boy there over there in the day. And you holding our president and you remember that boy? That boy was senior bodyguard. Senior bodyguard of Lassana Conte era. He was senior bodyguard of the president of Guinea. And he over you in. You were holding the embryo over the president here that day. Looking at the president, he said, you, I will finish with you. That's serious thing I'm talking about. The boy holding the embryo over the head of the president. He was bodyguard of the president. He was looking at him. He said, one, I will catch him. That way. And he overthrew the president. That is sitting the ball doing to our man Marabio and Joseph Boyka. And hold Joseph Boyka hands so and hold Marabio hands so. He said, look at the man here. They know me. Marabio that I mean, I know. Anyway, I'm not Guinea. He didn't do it to 17 yet. But at Laburo, he look at Marabio and he said they want to army man. They didn't understand my language. But they other Joseph Boyka man here. I would deal with him. And he got the man. The boy can speak so and speak so. Seriously, he can tussle and he can tussle. The bad begin there, the bad about Napa. Somebody read the story about Napa. Bad about Napa, that Guinea president there. Bad Peking. And yeah, when told Joseph, okay, go home, everything, okay, they pray. He said, my man, I told you to pull the Guinea flag. You don't go pull Guinea flag. Pull our flag off, man. Okay. Yeah. Can you imagine that? And what happened? Well, anyway, gentlemen, just a little humor in it, just a little joke into it. We love this country. Don't let anybody fool you. We like President Boykai. We like the Unity Party. I mean, I love the CDC. We love the country. Many of you don't even know the relationship between Boykai children and I before. It's just that the election here made them to go different era. But we have quite a relationship, very good one. But at the end of the day, their President Boykai take the necessary action, and not just the necessary action, but his internal affairs minister, his deputy speaker, all of them need to be investigated. And the country should not be plunged into chaos because of people's selfish greed or personal agenda. Yeah, it should not. So thank you very much. We love you all. And I will be back again. I know the entire executive mansion been watching, all government officials and land ministries and agencies. But there's Acarous Gray now. You can't do nothing to the ball. Okay? There's Acarous. Acarous Gray is always Acarous Gray. From since 2005 up to now, 21 years, or 2004 to now, 21, 22 years I've been in this business. So again, I've been in this business, so I'm not carried away by the indifference, the castigation, the insults, or what they think and what they say. I'm always Acarous Gray and will always be Acarous Gray. And on this subject matter, no matter what the situation, we always unite to condemn Guinea, but at the same time, we caution the local leadership, our national leadership, on the manner and form in which they handle the situation. So thank you very much. I gave you a revolutionary salute. Thank you very much. Christine Kratik, strong leader. I appreciate every one of you, and have a wonderful day. Wonderful day. Thank you very much.